Kayak Fishing Carl here. Just about to set out on another kayak fishing adventure here, and I wanted to talk quickly about the rudder on my Outback. So this is the stock rudder. It's made out of plastic. This is a bolt. You can see in the position of the bolt there in the middle of the top of the rudder, and it has a retractor line that pulls that guy up so that it's out of the way when it's stowed. Works pretty good. There's that point right there is where the spring holds it. Plastic, you guys can see it's fairly thick, but it flexes pretty good. So I wanted to get away from plastic. I'm on the BooneDox Pro Staff team, so of course the first thing I did was order up an aluminum rudder from BooneDox. You guys can see this is the entire rudder assembly. This guy has a screw that goes in the top, and then that attaches to the steering drum, and that's what turns this whole rudder. It's aluminum. It's much stronger, much less prone to flexing. Doesn't twist. It also has a larger surface area. So I'll show you guys compared to the original stock one. Yep, compared to the original stock one, it takes up a bit more surface area, so you get more steering control. So that worked great for a while. I love the setup. One bad thing happened to me. I got swept into the rocks while I was fighting a fish and lost the bolt on this guy. So my rudder was all messed up. So I got it back to the launch. I was able to steer to get to the launch and get back off the water, but I had to come up with something. So I'd lost the washers that fit inside here because that extra thickness is manufactured into the original plastic rudder. So I had to come up with something. So I had to get a couple of big fender washers and make that work, and then bolted back together. So that, and the fact that you guys can see when I twisted this guy, when I tried to torque the rudder itself here, this piece of plastic started to twist. So this piece also is made out of plastic. So I was left thinking maybe I should think about beefing this up a little bit and going with another solution, maybe made something made out of metal or a little stronger material. So I live somewhere that has a pretty big down season. At Christmas, I ordered myself the Berleypro rudder assembly. So that is this guy right here. You guys can see this piece is solid instead of kind of made up like a cross-sectional kind of piece. That guy is aluminum. This shaft is aluminum. The sides here are plastic, but the rest of the stock here is aluminum. They're much thicker and beefier than the original plastic piece. You guys can see it's bolted together on either side. It has a bit smaller through bolt there that's actually kind of flush rather than sticking out a little bit. And the size didn't really change, but you guys notice there's one big difference between this setup and the other one. And that's the main thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. So if you guys see the difference there, this one, the pivot is in the middle of the rudder. So when I turn this guy, I'm turning it almost in the center there of the rudder. So I'm pushing and twisting it almost the same amount front to back in this twisting motion. With this guy, it's completely different. So when I'm twisting it, I'm twisting all of it in one side. I hope you guys can see that. Hopefully I'm not holding it too low. So I'm turning this whole thing. It's a much longer torque arm to turn with that little plastic steering handle on the boat. The other thing I notice quite often with this setup is that it will take quite a bit of pedaling, getting some forward momentum before this rudder starts to bite. I had quite a few instances where I thought I was going to hit something because I could not get the rudder to turn, or I could only turn in one direction because of the wind or the waves. The wind and the waves overcome this rudder very quickly and easily. Quite often it made for a bit of hairy times on the water where I thought I wasn't going to be able to turn, or I was going to get pushed in the rocks or into another angler. So this was really bothering me, and I thought, well, I'll just give it a try and put it back to the other one. And it didn't click for me. until I put this one back on, and it was working so much better. It was much easier to steer. I had to turn the handle with much less force, and I wasn't, this rudder bites with much less forward momentum. I get a better response from this rudder. So you guys, I'm not bashing either one of these. I wish I could find an aluminum setup for this guy that was in the center of the rudder. I think that would be ideal. If this works for you, so be it. I feel like this would be a better solution if I had a motor on my kayak, and I don't. I just haven't gotten to that stage of the kayak fishing bug yet. So if you're thinking about the Berleypro, keep that in mind, that where this pivot is at the very front edge of that rudder, and it makes it, you need a lot more torque to turn this rudder, and also the waves will push against it with a lot more force and will overcome it more easily. So keep that in mind, you guys. My short video has already turned into a long video. So long story short, keep in mind when you're shopping for a rudder, the position of the mount and how it turns in relation to where that is in the shape of your rudder. So you guys, for the rest of the season, I switched back to this guy, the BooneDox aluminum rudder with my original mount for the rudder and that steering column. So it's easy to change back and forth. It's only one Phillips head screw and tying the knot on the retractor cable there. But this is the one I'm going to continue to use for the rest of the season and probably next season, unless I come across another solution for this right here that's made out of aluminum. Who knows? Maybe I can find a machinist that wants to take that on for me, or maybe I feel this winter like taking on a project and doing some aluminum casting. So that's it, you guys. Think about your rudder when you're shopping for a rudder. Think about where the pivot point of the twisting point of your rudder is. So you guys, Kayak Fishing Carl saying, keep your line on the water, wear your PFDs, and I hope to see you guys out there.